You saved my life. Why?
Maybe I need to look at another face, even as ugly as yours.
So you still think humans are ugly, huh?
Compared to a drac, very ugly.
It's the Solo One Sci-fi podcast.
Oh, is it me? Oh, right, okay. Right. Sorry, we had that right. Hello and welcome to this week's episode of the Solo One Sci-fi podcast. And down below me is Malcolm.
Oh.
Who loves sci-fi. How is the Terminator hunt? Is any progress with it?
No, I'm still working on my Predator hand display, and I've stopped that now because I'm doing something for my daughter's wedding. So,
cool.
Okay.
It's still sat here waiting. That it'll be later in the year before I get onto that, I think.
Brilliant.
Okay, and over in the far corner, in the box over there, is Michael Ball.
It's like Celebrity Squares, isn't it? The way you do these intros, isn't it?
It is. We need a presenter.
Oh God!
We need some button stands. You know, where the screen comes in.
I always mind about the TV these days, and and now I'd love to see the BBC just disappear and get destroyed because I think it's a pile of shite. Not thinking about a certain show that we've been talking about recently, which has helped to instigate that sort of.
I have to say, I did like your analogy of my film I made.
Oh, did you?
Yes, I liked your analogy, like an acid trip to Amsterdam.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
I made that with the greatest of respect.
Yeah, I know you did. I told the cast, and they agreed with me. And I'm gonna murder the next fucking hamster I see.
Yeah. I mean, never go. Yeah, don't ever go to a pet shop again and sort of like spot hamster and everything else.
And
like
there
that.
was no hamsters harmed in the making of.
So just to explain to Malcolm, so Martin's made this sort of video, haven't you, mate? And you do this sort of stuff, and did you say it's been recommended to? Who has it been nominated for?
It's been nominated. It's just gone into 15 film festivals today.
Okay, and you told me you got the news.
It's on the road now. So
fantastic.
So I'm quite happy with it, yeah.
And you did also a toilet time travel one, didn't you? You've done a couple of these sort of like
the toilet travel. I'm starting a new one in 3 weeks' time.
Okay, so you ought to check out some of these. So brilliant, yeah. I mean, like I said, I'm happy to share some stuff on my channel if you want.
Well, I'm going to buy you a hamster for Christmas.
Oh, great! What? And I've got to have an acid trip at the. What? And then what? So what? I'm going to get a hamster, and then we've got to fly to Amsterdam. Is that what you're saying?
Well, shit. Tell me what it's about. So this week we're talking about Enemy Mine and a bit of the Acolyte too. And
all right, so look, I mean, obviously we've seen now. There's been 5 episodes of the Acolyte. I think episode 5 has been the best. I'm not sure if you've seen that. Did you see all the lightsaber battles in episode 5?
So
you have seen the most recent one.
So yeah.
Now I know. This is now Malcolm, and this is fair enough. I thinks of it really as not very good, bit of a piece of shit. A lot of people feel the same, especially Star Wars Theory, who thinks of it as like something like something that's shitting out of.
Do you think the criticism's been a bit so hard on it?
I will tell you this. I'm actually on the fence with this. I keep saying it. I don't mind. I tell you what I'll say, because I wanted to explain myself, because I think Malcolm is very, very valid in what he's saying. This cost $188 million. This is supposed to be something, and we've already seen half of it. So we must be into $100 million worth of sort of content already shown on screen. It doesn't feel like it. It doesn't feel grand. It doesn't feel like a big Star Wars movie. The acting isn't brilliant, and it's the canon thing, obviously. But I don't mind it. I honestly, I watched episode 5. I thought the lightsaber battles were pretty good. Not sure about this Oriental Sith guy. Whether I assume he's the Padawan. We're going to see the proper main Sith, I assume, before the season ends. I think the Acolyte is more of like, maybe that's the next thing. The Sith will have a rule.
He might not be the master.
That's what I'm saying. I think he's the
that could be a
apprentice.
twist, couldn't
And
it?
maybe the apprentice is the one that looks for an acolyte, and then once the apprentice then becomes the master, then the acolyte becomes the apprentice. I don't know. Okay, so Malcolm, let me ask. I know obviously you've talked about it. What do you think so far? Are you still think of it as a giant turd?
Yeah, it's awful. It's some of the worst acting I've ever seen. 180 million. They definitely didn't spend it on the cast. Their acting ability is horseshit. It's back in the days. I've said this before. Back in the days when you used to get these fan films, guys, these geeks in the park that playing with foam swords and making films. Some of those were very good.
Yes.
This is worse than some of the worst of them. Everybody's going on about season 5. The lightsaber battles being epic. They were atrocious. I've never seen such rubbish in all my life. I haven't. I assume that a normal sword fight probably isn't as interesting to watch when you see it done for real. So you do have to kind of jazz it up a bit. But this is too much.
But there's a special
wow moment.
But there's a big thing about, and this sounds dodgy, about the Sith Lord's helmet. It's made of a material where it conks out temporarily the lightsabers. I never thought I'd be talking about a Sith Lord's
But
helmet.
in Disney universe, doesn't everything? Everything a lightsaber hits, fucking, it just bounces off now. It does. I mean, it can't even kill people anymore. We've seen that.
No, we saw that in...
What is it? Ahsoka. You can't even kill anyone with one.
I know.
And what have you? Yeah, absolute nonsense. And the lightsaber fight. So you remember when you're a kid in a playground, when you're sort of 6 or 7 years old fighting with sticks, and you just get into an argument of like, well, I did this. No, I hit you and I did that. No, but my special power, that's what these lightsaber fights are like to me. Just absolute rubbish. I don't understand it.
It's a weird one. I agree with you on the cast. The acting is... I think they killed off the main star too quickly. I think they should not have got rid of that.
Carrie-Anne Moss?
Yeah, she could have carried it.
I thought she was going to carry it. I thought she was.
I do like the Japanese fella, the
Squid Game guy. Yeah,
he's probably one of the more better characters.
It's the first time he's ever done anything in English. He can't speak English. I think he's literally.
Oh, is he Korean?
Yeah, he was in there. He got famous in Squid Game.
That's right. That's right.
Okay, right. That's fair enough.
I love Squid Game as well. I thought that was really good.
He holds it very well. I think the twins. Is it actually two? Is it one person?
No, it's one actress.
But when she's on, I just want to switch it off. She
hasn't got much of a presence, has she? No.
You don't. Now, I think like I watched episode 5. Wasn't bad. And then we got the big reveal. It was him.
Mm-hmm. Which was obvious.
There were nothing there, was there? When Helmet come off and he said, "You should know who I am." We still don't know who he is, and he says, "I'm a Sith, and I have to kill you all." And there was just nothing. There were no build up to like, who is this person? It was just. I'm not gelling with this. I'm on the fence with it. I'm not gonna be hard on it, but I'm just not feeling it. I mean, the character Jedi's we got to know him, that lad, the young girl. They all got fucking massacred, man.
Yeah, I know. Yeah,
I mean, they were just so irrelevant from episode 1. They were just done in 10 minutes. They were all gone. And I just think there were no chance of any build-up of any form of relationship. There's nothing to invest in.
Yeah.
And that's what annoys
That's
me.
it. You just don't care that they all got killed. It was just like,
that's it.
what of it?
Yeah, you're right, Malcolm.
And the big reveal of who he was, a big reveal, like, oh my God moment, you should actually fucking care who it was. It shouldn't be a guy they introduced for 10 minutes in the previous episode, and then you figure it out before he even reveals it.
Yeah,
there was that moment when his helmet come up and we heard his voice and it was like the camera were moving up to his face. And we finally got there and I was like,
okay.
Fucking you. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, you remember that shot? When
it was supposed to be like the big thing.
Like, finally, we're gonna. Is it Darth fucking Plagueis or his mask? And it was.
It's even when he says
again, like, who the fuck are you?
And it's when he says, "You would call me Sith." Like that was another big reveal. Mate, he had a red lightsaber in the first fucking episode. I think we all knew who he was. You know, although there's still people online claiming he's not Sith because there can only be 2 of them.
No, he
And-
definitely said.
Well,
he
that's
definitely
what I
Blah,
mean.
blah,
And then he said, well, what are you? He said, well, I'm a Sith. Like, well, who the fuck are you? What's the same? Like, what?
Yeah.
Like, so that you're just that unimportant dude that's got a shit helmet, and you can like kill all these Jedi's, and like we get the big reveal, and that's it. But I think there's a twist because, like, I'm hoping you're right, Michael. I'm hoping he's got a master.
I would assume.
I hope so. Because it's
I
the
would
I mean, I'm only
assume that
really
they
still
have to.
watching it because I want to know what it is that the Fourth Sith did that made one of them go into that bubble for fucking years, and they're all scared and they're all terrified, and I want to know what they actually fucking did, because I don't think they killed all the witches. I don't think that's what it is. They did something else. But I reckon, again, like Doctor Who, it's going to be a big wet fucking fart when it's revealed what they did, and it's going to be like, really? And the guy went into a big bubble for that? You know, just no.
No.
Episode 3 was quite good. I thought episode 3 was going to start off telling us what happens. Like, I've always wanted to know what happens if you refuse to let the Sith take your kid. I've always wanted to know what they would do, and it looked like that's what we were going to find out, and then we didn't.
No,
you know, it's just
just don't care about any of the characters in there.
No.
Do you? I mean, obviously,
Like Ahsoka, I'm really invested in that.
which one? Ahsoka.
I'm really invested in.
Wookiee Jedi. Everybody's sitting there waiting for his lightsaber fight. Well, where the fuck did that go?
He did nothing.
I'm
He was
assuming
like,
he's still going to be in a flashback, and
There's
we're going to
gonna
see
be,
some lightsaber action.
I think next week's is the flashback, another flashback episode.
Yeah.
I don't like non-linear. I prefer things linear. I've said this before.
Yeah.
And I'd rather they just started off like episode 1 was the girl with the twins as a kid, and then we saw Carrie Ann Moss and everything else, and then obviously this one's good, one's bad. Then the house burns down and all the stuff that they did, and that was episode 3. Which then made episodes 1 and 2, from my perspective, better because I had more of a background of what happened. It reminds me of the War of the Worlds, the BBC version, where they made that very non-linear. And that, I mean, that was just I'm sure that you thought it was a piece of shit as well.
Probably, but I've seen, because they came out, 2 people came out with a War of the Worlds TV series at roughly the same time, and I saw one of them, but not the other one. And I
Did you
don't
not
know
see the
which one I
British
saw.
one with?
I'm sure it was set in Victorian times still.
I think it was early 20th century. It wasn't Victorian. It was
And because of the red weed stuff, the whole entire series was mostly done in a red fucking filter.
Yeah,
and all that. That's the one I watched.
Yeah, it wasn't very good. It was a 2-parter. It had Robert Carlyle in it as the parson.
Yeah, I think the one I saw was more than 2 parts though.
There was a series. Does anybody know?
Yeah, there's an American show called
like Robot Dogs.
Yeah, Robot Dogs.
That's still going. I
don't know. It's nothing to do with the War of the Worlds, though. It's completely unrelated.
But it's Cold War. That's what I've only seen a couple of first episodes.
Yeah, I didn't get into that.
That's still going.
Yeah, but that's obviously not the one that Malcolm's talked about, because that was contemporary times. So Malcolm must have seen the one that we saw, which we thought was shite.
We saw War of the Worlds Attack, didn't we? We covered that, didn't we?
Yeah, the one with the sort of like the younger cast. Yeah, I didn't mind that one. We reviewed it a while back. No, I didn't mind that. So anyway, go back to Acolyte. I mean, obviously,
sorry.
A lot of problems with it.
Can I just say,
go on.
There's no way they spent 188 million quid on that.
Well, the special effects and the sets are pretty good.
I made that set. You know they're in the fucking studio.
But they spent twice the amount on than it did for Obi-Wan.
Well, look at the Mandalorian when you say cinematography in the desert and all that. It's fucking spectacular.
It does look good. It does look. Mandalorian still looks good.
You're not saying this. However, they have no way if they spent 188 million quid on this shit.
Well, where's Carrie Ann Moss? I mean, I'm a big Matrix fan.
Well, that's probably what they paid us just to get.
What to sort of like get stabbed in the heart after 2 minutes or something?
He was 170 million of it.
We'll give you 100 million. To stab me out for 5
minutes. For 100 million, I'll give you 7 minutes.
For 7 minutes, yeah, okay.
And then you're
only 180 words.
Series going,
I charge you $100 million per minute. A screen time. Yeah.
The whole thing is just. I mean, I'm going to stick it out, obviously.
I am.
I hope you're right, Michael. I hope that there's somebody else behind him. And it's quite a big.
He's not strong enough a bad character. He's like an apprentice himself. He has to be.
And the other thing, how many fucking Jedi Knights did they have on that planet? There were about 8
about
of
20.
them.
I mean, they're all most of,
Fucking loads
yeah,
of
but
them, weren't there?
surely
And
by
they
the end of
all
the
got
show,
wiped out.
at the end of
in
the
10
series, though,
minutes.
right? They're all going to be killed off because I mean, they can't have the rule of the Sith kind of thing, which haven't been around heard of since for a millennia, which is obviously in Phantom Menace, right? They said that they've not been heard of the Sith for over a millennia, and the character that was in Rogue Phantom Menace was in it as a younger version of himself. I can't remember his name. He was one of the council that was in the prequels. He gets
the guy with
caught.
the long head.
Yeah, I can't remember.
Yoda, there is one thing that could save this series. There's
What's
one
that?
thing. Yoda.
Oh, do you maybe?
Well, he's there. He's there. See, he's on the council. He's what, 900 years old at this
Well, he
point?
should be, but I mean, he wasn't when we saw him all sat around. But he should be there.
That's what I mean. He's the only fucking thing that's going to save it.
So, do you reckon then there's a chance we could see a slightly younger Yoda, and we're going to see a Master Sith?
I don't know. Waited 5 weeks to this Floor one. It was totally unimportant. Some dude from Squid Games, which I've never seen. So
Squid Games is really good.
Squid Games worth a watch.
It is really, really good. I highly recommend it, and obviously Malcolm's seen it as well. I loved it. I thought it was really good.
Season 2 coming soon.
Yeah, I heard about it. And there's some other version going about at the moment. There's a quiz show which is based on Squid Game, but obviously not the people aren't actually killed or something. I heard something about that.
Yeah.
I'm not seeing it. Anyway, yeah, let's hope that's okay. Let's see how it goes. What else has been going on? As I think Malcolm said this, there's not been a lot of sci-fi news going on at the moment. People are still going on about Doctor Who. They want to get rid of it.
There was an article today.
Go on.
That they are making, what is it, the Land and the Sea?
With apparently Martha Jones could be in it. Martha
I forgot about
Jones.
it.
Yeah, Martha Jones and the Sea
Martha
Devils.
Jones, that's it, yeah.
I didn't mind Martha Jones. I mean, she was also in Torchwood.
Looking forward to it.
I don't know though. Is it?
They're gonna fuck it up. So this what we might as well be called the Fuck It Up Solo on Sci-Fi podcast.
Wait, what's that? It's nothing about us though. That makes it look like
not about us. That every week that we review all this science fiction and every bit of it's becoming worse than what it should be.
Oh, so are you saying that we are
nothing positive about anything, is there? I mean, fucking Discovery were down toilet. Acolyte 188 million. That's half hanging off the top.
I've got a question for you, Mark.
Star Wars show has been pretty
we're
much a failure.
still sat on judgment on that one, aren't we?
Now, I have a question.
Tell me of something decent.
I have a question for you, Martin. Very important. While I get a word in, Andor or the Acolyte, because we panned Andor, which I've improved my opinion since I've rewatched it. So at the moment, which is worse, Andor or the Acolyte up to this point? Well, Acolyte's worse than Andor.
I'm watching Andor now.
And how are you finding Andor on a rewatch?
Do I have to admit it?
Go on, you have to. Yeah, go on.
I'm actually starting to.
I bet Malcolm doesn't like it. I've got dreading Malcolm. What's Malcolm going to say? What do you think about Andor? Yeah.
Okay, so I found Andor really boring. To be fair,
I did the first time round.
It was always on a hiding for nothing for me because I don't really get prequels like that where we know nothing's going to happen to him. There's no danger to him. He's not going to stay in the prison. We know that none of that.
We know it's going to happen.
We know he gets out of it.
Yeah.
So they would have been better off sticking, if they wanted to do a prequel show, arsehole any characters we know and just start off with the birth of the Jedi, the guy in the shop and the woman visiting him. Let's see that the rebellion started off as rebellions do, a bit fucking nefarious themselves. You know, people join up, last a couple of weeks, and then they're killed off because they think they're a spy and all that. Let's see the sinisterness of it.
Yeah, the shop owner, it should have been about him. He should have been, because to me, he's the one bombing
he's the one that's running it all in the background, and obviously Mon Mothma's there, and she's sort of like she's getting involved.
That's where they should have focused on all this.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, if we want a character we've seen before, bring in the Forrest Whitaker character, and let's see what kind of shit that guy did in his past.
Malcolm, I have to say, don't forget Cyril and his mother as well. There.
What with the green milk and everything? Yeah. Oh, you like Cyril? He's all right. He's
but again, a pointless character that went. I'm all for world building, but a pointless character that adds nothing to the story and goes nowhere. Well, if that's not padding, I don't get it. There's padding with story building, and that was padding.
It's like her and the Acolyte. It's totally pointless. So what's the point? You know.
But I mean, do you think that the Ahsoka characters were probably stronger than some of the other recent Star Wars series?
So bad. Ray Stevens as Bailey.
He was Bailey Skull. Yeah, he was good. Yeah.
because when they first appeared, they had presence. You remember that first moment when they appeared? They were interested. What are they? Who are they? You know, that's where you are. You weren't getting this when you sat there last week when he took his fucking helmet off. It was like, who's that? You know what I mean? So there you go. Is there any decent science fiction coming? Is there anything?
Well, let's have a think. What have we seen this year that we've really? I've just rewatched June Part 1, which I enjoyed. I'm going to watch. I've not seen June 2 yet. I'm going to try and watch that this weekend. So I want to see what I need to just reset because there's quite a lot that goes on in June 1, and I wanted to refresh my memory. So I'm going to check that out. New sci-fi this year. I mean, I saw The Creator was from last year, which I liked very much. You like that too, Martin. But no, how about you, Malcolm? Anything new, contemporary? I mean, I think
this year, no, nothing. I mean, for a long while now, I've just been diving into the most modern stuff, largely unwatchable now. You get the odd. What was the one that was on Amazon that kept getting cancelled? Begins with E, based on a book. I only ever watched the first series of it, but that was really good. Expanse, that's it.
Oh, Expanse.
I do need to dive back in and finish that.
Yeah, that's good. I like that a lot.
Yeah,
actually,
nothing. Really.
Oh God, what's that book trilogy? It's on Apple. We've watched
Silo.
One about generations of clones and run that empire. I forgot what it's called now.
Oh, you mean Dawn, Day, and what's it called?
Yeah,
Foundation.
Foundation, yeah. I think
I never saw I couldn't get into second season. I saw the first season.
Okay.
And I've still not seen the second season. I just couldn't click into it.
I couldn't get past episode 2 or 3.
It
wasn't especially bad, but it was just.
There's a massive payoff in season 2.
Yeah, I've still got to
stick it till then. I found it hard first couple of episodes.
And
For All Mankind was worth it this year.
Is that out this year?
I was just about to say that. For All Mankind. Yeah, I've not seen season 4 yet. Again, I couldn't get into that either, so I need to see that because that was a clever story.
Wasn't as good last season. It was all right, but
did you?
It's soap opera now, isn't it?
But did you think season 4 of For All Mankind's pretty good, Malcolm? Did you like it compared to the rest of the series?
Yeah, but like Martin said, it's not as good. It delves into soap opera territory now. It's starting to do. It's all relationship. It's all that sort of stuff.
Rather than actually the idea.
Getting a little bit. Yeah, they don't want to carry it on too much further.
Okay, all right. Well, that's pretty much it, I think, for news. Unless there's anything else you want to talk about. Now, shall we do a quick? I mean, we've done. I think we've been on Skype for about 20 minutes. Shall we try?
Oh, let's get it done. Yeah.
Let's try and squeeze it in. Let's make it a short one tonight, guys. I think because there's a few things. So here we go. Let's go into our review topic of the week. Here we go.
It's the Solar Sci-Fi Focus of the Week.
Right, this week, so we are going to be reviewing a film from the mid-80s with Dennis Quaid, and it's a very traditional, but it's not the most original kind of idea of two people stranded together who are enemies, but have to form a working relationship where in order to survive. I still remember this very, very fondly when I first saw it in the 80s, and that was, of course, what's the film called again? It's gone on my head. What's it called?
Enemy Mine.
Enemy Mine. There we are. Professional, isn't it? Let's ask you first, Malcolm. What did you think of Enemy Mine? Well, I'll get into
I mean, I haven't seen it since the 80s, but I watched it again the other day because it's a good film. It's a solid film. Like you say, it's not an original story. Robinson Crusoe, that kind of thing.
I was thinking that, yes, Robinson Crusoe.
Return of.
I like that analogy. That's brilliant. Galactica 1980. That's why you put it up there. That's a very good link. Yeah. Like that.
Louis Gossett Jr. was absolutely amazing in it.
He
is arguably one of the most alien performances
he was so good, and
apparently he based the voice on when he was a kid, and him and his brother or him and his friends used to talk with gargled water, and that's where he got that kind of voice from.
That's what
very good. And then the film takes a complete U-turn when he dies halfway through.
I know
the big build star, and he's dead halfway through it, and all that.
I know.
Good film.
And then of course we have the child as well, which of course Dennis Quaid's character has. Stamets.
And it's just the whole them coming together is very organically done. It's not forced. Is very, because obviously Dennis Quaid tries to kill him in the beginning,
Yes, that's right.
but
But
he
loathes
doesn't.
him.
When he gets the upper hand, he just ties him up, and then that's how they become friends and all that. And it does feel like a relationship that would have actually happened, rather than a forced kind of.
Again, it's very good characterization. It's good acting, and it goes back to a lot of contemporary stuff. Where, again, I don't know whether the perspective is if you watch an older film or an older TV series, that you just maybe more of a sentimentality that you see the characters as being better written in compared to contemporary stuff. I don't think that's necessarily the case. I think you can often see something when you just watch it, regardless if you've actually seen it before and it's actually good or bad. When I watched this, I thought both the main characters and Zamet as well were all very strong, very interesting characters, and you got involved in their life about the way that they wanted to survive. And obviously, Quaid's character at the end when he goes back and he gets recovered, and of course he's very dilapidated, he's very ill, and he's very he's wore. I don't know how long he's been out there on the planet, but it's been for quite a long time. And of course he's actually going against his own people in many ways because he wants to save Zamet, which I thought was very clever.
Well, it's that whole idea of going native, like Avatar.
I like that. I like that.
Dances with Wolves is a very
it was, and also theme. And I like the fact that in the end he also becomes a sort of ambassador for humanity against the alien race, and he's a way of bringing the two races together through his mutual understanding of exposure to that race, being on that planet, and obviously being a stepdad to Zamet. I just thought it was really, really good. I mean, just going back to the cast, I mean, obviously, I like the cast a lot, but what I thought was the character that played, what was his name? Louis Gossett Jr., who plays, called Jerry, nicknamed, and I only recognized him or knew him, recognized his name, and I saw him. He played a Jafar in Stargate SG-1, one of the later seasons. And of course, that's the thing about that actor, that I didn't really recognize him at all in Enemy Mine, which I thought was, but like I said, great acting. It was a really good thing. I mean, how about you, Martin? When did you first see Enemy Mine? I bet you saw it.
Its origins. Firstly, its origins is based on a best-selling book.
Oh, is it?
And it was made into a World War II film about an American and Japanese soldier trapped on an island where they're trying to kill each other.
Okay, that's
interesting. I think it's Lee Marvin, actually, and I forgot who the other actor is. And it was, and in the end, they have to work, and he gets picked up by his people, and I forgot.
But I mean,
but this is what Enemy Mine is based on. Now, at the beginning of Enemy Mine, I look at it now, I see a bit of space above and beyond in it.
Yeah, actually, I think Malcolm's checking that.
I see that. I think it's superb film. I think it stands out. I think it's one of the best films ever made, and it's cheap, and it did cost £188 million.
No,
it was done. Lou Gossett Jr. Anything that man's in is amazing, and he's done so much science fiction.
What else has he done then? Because I'm not that familiar with him actually.
Officer and Gentleman, Iron Eagle.
Okay.
Iron Eagle, yeah, all them movies, yeah.
Okay, I've not seen those ones.
He's done some really good films, Lewis Gossett Jr. But Dennis Quaid is a good actor.
Inner Space is the one I remember him from.
Yeah. It's just a great film. I mean, it's not something you go back to like all the time, but you pull it out. You definitely have it in the collection. You pull it.
I've not seen it for a while, but I would definitely.
10 years since.
I mean, you've already answered the question, which we'll answer at the end, but we'll answer it early this week. Would it go in your collection? Obviously,
but it's one of them. Every time you watch it, you see something different in it. That's what I love about this film. There's just something different.
It's got good pacing. It's got good. I like that some of the music in it as well is great. I think the special effects for the time that they were made were fine.
Still stand
not some of the CGI. Obviously, it's model work, but it looks good. And again, and I have mentioned to you both, and I know how you both feel, so it's going to be an obvious answer. There is potentially going to be a remake of some sort coming.
Are they actually doing?
I don't know how far it's gone. It's being done by the guy that did Star Trek Picard season 3. I can't think of his name for some reason tonight. Terry
Matalas,
and who I think is an excellent guy. But We don't need that. You don't need a
I'd-
remake.
no,
What's
I'd
the
be
point
up
of
for it.
remaking that?
I'd be up for an expansion into the universe of them and the aliens.
But
That-
how
it
how
work
could they?
that
Because
way.
it's only a one-off story. I mean, you could go back to the universe,
Well,
but
it's not. It's not a one-off story because he ends up going to their world at the end with a child, like you said earlier. Bringing
Oh
that
yeah, I
back.
suppose, yeah. But I don't think
Because
it's going to be an expansion. I think it's going to be a remake.
well, then a remake, you just don't bother.
Going to
to
be
film
better
it.
looking aliens and better looking
not
ships and probably bland characters and the usual shit that you see to get these days
No
with
point.
no. But I do wonder whether we are running out of creative content for new films. Whether we're getting to a point now where it's almost like Hollywood has stalled in what they can
To
create
be
with all the
fair,
franchises.
they haven't really. They do come out with a lot of films. I mean, the idea of an original film can't happen anyway. Every single film you ever watch
It's
is
always
in some
got
way
some
loosely
aspect. Yes,
based on
yes.
something that's come before.
Yes,
You know,
Independent
there's only
movies.
really, if you take films down to the basic, you know, boy meets girl or man fights evil, there's only about 10 different storylines you can have for a film at the very basic level. But Hollywood do come out with a lot of films. The trouble with remakes, sequels, and all that, they're guaranteed income because they get all the social media marketing. People are guaranteed to go and see them. So if you're the life expectancy of an exec network is very limited. They only
Sure.
need 2 or 3 films to go fucking wrong, and they're
Yeah,
fucked.
they're out.
So
Yeah.
they'll come out with a couple of these guaranteed films to bankroll the independent films that they do. And if for every store that comes out that makes them $1 million, there's a load that don't, and they need these sequels and that to keep their feet in the door and to keep money ticking over. And it will always be that way.
Merchandising as well.
And basically, I think what we need to do is we need to look out for those films which aren't so much in the so yeah, independent films or things that are a bit less mainstream for because I just feel like I'm missing out on a lot of stuff these days that I watch which are new. There are still some surprises.
The
Creator was just the one I was thinking of, which was a story I wasn't familiar
That
with.
works.
That worked for me quite a lot. Did you see The Creator, Malcolm?
Not yet.
It's worth it. I mean, like I said, I don't know whether I liked it and Martin liked it. My wife wasn't that mad on it actually, so she normally likes the stuff I like. So you can't always tell. You know, we're all different. But that was the film last year from a perspective of an unfamiliar story that I thought really worked. That was the best film for me last year, I thought.
I think the last time I actually saw an original film that wasn't the film, that there was a completely different storyline to what I was expecting, was Chappie. And before that, District 9. You know, that was the last 2 films I saw that literally
District
were not
9.
the film that I thought I was going to go and see.
District 9 we've not reviewed. We'll have to have you back when you're available, maybe next month or something. I'd love to do District 9. I love that. And I know Martin liked that as well. What was the other film you said? Chappie. What's that?
Same guy.
Oh,
Same
okay.
guy. So basically, yeah, they make a robot, and just bad people get hold of this robot, but the guy's made it come alive.
Okay.
And it's very, very childlike. It's a brilliant film.
I've never heard of that.
It's as good as District 9. Yeah, it's just called
Really?
Chappie. It's as good as District 9. Definitely, 100% watch it. If you're in any way a fan of Short Circuit, this is an adult version of Short Circuit. Which is brilliant.
Chappie.
Chappie.
Chappie. I'll check it out. All right, mate. Thank you for that. All right, that's the one to put on the list. All right, guys, we've got 2 minutes left on Zoom, so I think it's time to wrap this up. So we're going to have to go sharpish today. So let's rate it out of 10. I'll rate Malcolm. You're on the today. What would you say out of 10?
I'm going to give this 9.
That's one of your highest, I think. Actually, that's a big.
I'm going to give this 9.
Brilliant, Martin. What would you give it?
9.
I'll give it a 2. No, I'm joking. I'll give it a 9 as well. I'm gonna go with a collective opinion 9 from all of us, I think, which is a big compliment. So that's brilliant.
And would you have it in the collection?
Yes, definitely. I would. I've got it in the collection at home.
I had it on VHS, and then I forgot all about it for many, many, many years. So I don't. Well, now I've got it in the collection again. So I did, and then I didn't.
Okay, that's brilliant.
Right.
All right, guys. Well, thanks very much for reviewing it. I thought it's slightly short one tonight, but sometimes it happens. What are we doing next week, Martin? Do you want to do Rocketeer? You saw that. You mentioned that.
Let's do Rocketeer.
Rocketeer. As it's your turn, and then maybe after that, I want to do Close Encounters of the Third Kind at some point as well. Because I've not seen that. Rocketeer, brilliant. All right, guys. Thank you very much for joining us.
So I'm not around for 3 weeks, and then I will be around for 3 weeks, but we'll be international because I'll be at my summer house in Poland. So we can
Fantastic.
go, we can
Well,
go
have you
full
on?
on
We'll
resolution.
definitely do something with you then. So we'll look forward to it,
Yeah,
Malcolm.
no worries.
Cheers, guys. We'll see you again
All right, guys.
soon. Catch you
Live
later,
long and
guys.
prosper.
Live long and
Bye-bye.
See
prosper.
you soon, guys.
Bye,
Bye.
guys.
They guide the way on the Solo and Sci-Fi podcast, where sci-fi holds